All right. So I wanted to cover how we could ask the computer questions or answer. So if the program was asking a question, we would be able to answer to determine if we want to do a certain code base. Okay, so let's say that I am asking them, and let's put a prompt. We're going to do a real simple one. Print line, do you want a Pop-Tart? Okay, so I'm asking a question. I'm looking for an answer. String answer is equal to keyboard. I'm getting that input, so I'm looking at next line. And now I could have, say, some conditionals. If answer, now this is if I'm looking for a string equivalent. Instead of saying this, say to yes, it's actually written more like this. Answer dot equals, and I can say yes. And a lot of times when you start asking this, the person may end up typing stuff a different way. So let's go ahead and system.out.println, you get a Pop-Tart. Okay, else then I will eat it. Okay, so when we are running this, the program is going to ask us for an answer, and it's looking for a match. Now I'm going to run this a couple times so we can see some potential issues and how we can better deal with them. Okay, do you want a Pop-Tart? Let's say I type yes. I get a Pop-Tart. So it looks for a match here and jumps into this. Now if I wrote this different and I wrote it like this, like what I mentioned, and we run it, the results are not predictable. Yes. Okay. It does not test for equality writing like this when you're using strings. Okay. So you have to use dot equals, and what you are matching against needs to be inside of the parentheses for the equals. So notice I have an extra set of parentheses. Okay. Now, let's run this again, and I'm going to spoof it again. So let's say the person that is answering is writing all in caps. Yes, they really want one, but it's not matching it. Okay, so either you can do one of two things. So we need to deal with all cases of how they type it, or if they type it, let's run it again with just a capital Y, or capital Y, or lowercase y, capital E, lowercase s. It's not matching it. So we can do a couple things. When we are looking at a string and we hit the dot, we can see equals, but there's also equals ignore case. So if I use that, I could run. So this is one option to do it where you can make sure you're taking the right input. Anytime now. Okay. So Y-E-S. All right, so it's still matching, even though it's matching with all lowercase. Okay, so that's option one. The other option is that I could choose to make all of their inputs. So let's say we're just using the equals, which is perfectly fine. I can use, when I'm taking that next line, I can automatically convert everything to uppercase or everything to lowercase. So when they type, even if they type all in caps, we can see what they're typing. So system.out.println, and I'm going to print the answer that they type and then run it through. So this is the other way that we can test to make sure when we're asking questions. Okay, so I'm typing all in caps. It converts it down to lowercase, and I get that still response that I'm looking for. Okay, so this is one way that we can use it. Now, how could we do it in, say, a do-while loop, if that's what you need to implement next? In the other videos for explaining the do-while loop, you'll have to refer to those. But for how to test for input, I could, inside of this conditional, I can check. So I could say answer dot equals and test. Yes. Do you want to continue? And maybe I'm moving this inside of my loop. Okay. Now, the issue that we have is that inside of this code block, string answer, if you initialize it inside of the code block, it only exists inside of the code block. So if I want to use this inside of a do loop, I need to initialize first outside of the code block, and then declare a value inside the code block, and then I can use it in my while loop. Okay, so this will loop every time as long as my answer does not equal yes. So if I type anything other than yes, I will loop again. So let's see it running. This is an example of a game loop of what we can do in our programs. No, not, I want to keep going. Yup. Okay, anything other than yes. Yes, sir. Okay, it's still going to keep me inside of this loop right here. Okay, now as soon as I say yes, I'm out of the loop, I'm done. Now, if I have an answer that's already defined, answer is equal to let's say answer is equal to yes. So we already know that this should break, okay? But it's a do while loop. So even if I am not getting that answer, I am still going to run that code once. Run even if you meet the conditional before you even start it, okay? I am meeting the conditional before I'm even starting my do loop. I will still execute the loop at least once, and then I come here and it's going to spit me out. Okay, so that is one way that you guys can use do while loops with testing for yes or no, true or false, all those cool answers to actually start building really cool programs that are more interactive. All right, good luck, have fun.